As a result of the passing of the Truman Doctrine in 1947, the remainder of the 20th century bade witness to the wider implications and results of increased U.S. intervention and involvement in foreign affairs. The most notable of these affairs was the Vietnam War. By the 1960s, although it was President John F. Kennedy who had begun U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, it would be his successor, Lyndon B. Johnson, who would fully commit the U.S. to a costly war effort. After his inauguration, Johnson focused on increasing American military effort in Vietnam. He firmly believed in the domino theory, which assumed that if one state in a region came under the influence of communism, then the surrounding countries would follow. As a result, Johnson is said to have Americanized the Vietnam War, in other words, declaring that the halting of all communist expansion was the U.S.'s top priority. In August of 1964, U.S. Marine forces encountered and fought against Vietnamese torpedo boats on the waters of the Gulf of Tonkin. This incident led to Congress passing the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which granted President Johnson the authority to assist any Southeast Asian country whose government was considered to be jeopardized by communist aggression. The resolution served to further Johnson's legal justification for deploying U.S. forces and the commencement of open warfare against North Vietnam. By August of 1966, President Johnson had authorized a substantial increase in U.S. military efforts in Vietnam, deploying up to 429,000 U.S. troops. Furthermore, Johnson approved many war operations, most notably Operation Rolling Thunder, a strategic bombing campaign on North Vietnam that would last until U.S. withdrawal from the war. Despite increasing U.S. war efforts, however, the results for the U.S. were disastrous. In addition to the thick and humid Vietnam terrain, guerrilla warfare by the North Vietnamese slowly drained away at U.S. troop numbers and morale. Underestimating North Vietnamese morale and nationalism, U.S. forces in Vietnam were ambushed on January of 1968. Known as the Tet Offensive, the North Vietnamese had enacted a strong counteroffensive campaign, pushing the U.S. forces further south. News of the casualties and Vietnamese effort caused unrest and shock to American spectators at home. As a result, American anti-war sentiment peaked during the period after the Tet Offensive, resulting in a huge decline in Johnson's popularity. By the 1968 presidential election, the accumulation of popular anti-war sentiment, as well as a split in the Democratic Party regarding Johnson's policies, would result in Johnson stepping down from pursuing a second full presidential term. By the end of his term, Americans had become tired with war and tired of Johnson. Yet, despite his failures for the U.S. on a global scale, Johnson is often not acknowledged for his domestic efforts at home. During his presidency, he had managed to successfully advance voting rights, civil rights, education reform, and medical care, as well as furthering and improving transportation and building policies. Regarding Vietnam, perhaps Americans should at least remember Johnson as a president who tried his best to uphold the ideas of democracy, one who is willing to give a helping hand to others to aid them in their quest for freedom, independence, and liberty. The following is a reenacted part of Johnson's speech during his address to Congress in 1966 regarding the Vietnam War. How many men who listen to me tonight have served their nation in other wars? How very many are not here to listen? The war in Vietnam is not like these other wars. Yet, finally, war is always the same. It is young men dying in the fullness of their promise. It is trying to kill a man that you do not even know well enough to hate. Therefore, to know war is to know that there is still madness in this world. For we have children to teach, and we have sick to be cured, and we have men to be freed. There are poor to be lifted up, and there are cities to be built, and there is a world to be helped. Yet, we do what we must. I am hopeful, and I will try as best as I can with everything I have got to end this battle and to return our sons to their desires. Yet, as long as others will challenge America's security and test the clearness of our beliefs with fire and steel, then we must stand or see the promise of 2 centuries shrunken. I believe tonight that you do not want me to try that risk. And from that belief, your president summons his strength for the trials that lie ahead in the days to come. Thank you, and good night.